Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Comics Chat with Kat, a weekly show devoted to all things we're not really sure about, but it's mostly comic books and terrible Netflix shows.
I watched Iron Fist. And
I didn't.
Don't. That's my review. Don't watch Iron Fist.
Bye everybody.
Yep, we're done. Seriously, I like everything. It's almost like to a nauseating point where most people just don't even believe anything I say.
Well, let's clarify this way. He enjoyed Suicide Squad, and Batman vs. Superman to him is one of
I've
the
seen
better
Batman vs.
movies.
Superman Ultimate Edition like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
That's
so
3 hours apiece.
That's the level of like he has for things that are not critically liked or audience-ly liked.
I think that if you watch the extended edition, it has some redeeming qualities.
No, it's much better. Yeah. The extended edition is much better than the original for Batman vs. Superman. But
they just add plot back in.
The point is there that Taylor likes things that most people do not really care for. And for you to not enjoy this is very surprising for me because I personally am not a big fan of comic books. Well, okay, so let me try that again. I'm a big fan of comic books. I'm just not a big fan of Marvel, number one. I'm not a huge fan of Marvel TV shows. I think they go on too many episodes too long. I think 13 episodes for a season is too much for something like Marvel because they fill out the hour.
I think that a 10 episode season would be
maybe
perfect.
even 9. I mean, you know what has a perfect length right now? Legion.
Is it
8
over?
episodes?
It's
only
only
8 episodes.
I'm so close.
It's got a good pace to it, and you know exactly what you're getting into. But like it started off with Daredevil, where Daredevil season 1, episode 2, and the stairwell fight was fantastic, and then you just had a couple episodes of filler. Same thing happened with Jessica Jones.
Except
where
that door part.
Woo! I don't remember that.
When Wilson Fisk kills that guy with a door.
Oh, that was season 2 though. That was season 1. Sorry. So that was episode 4. And so it seems like every other episode they have something of major importance. The same thing happened with Jessica Jones when they introduced David Tennant's character. And I never watched Luke Cage, but
you should watch Luke.
I know
Cage.
I should. It's just my issue is again
the better
Netflix
one.
shows.
It's probably the best one of all of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's a bold statement. I really enjoyed the Punisher in season 2.
I'm just saying that I mean the music is amazing. For one, you love music.
I do like music. So going into that, so I personally pay attention to reviews of TV shows because I watch a lot of things non-comic book related and comic book related alike. And I have not a lot of spare time, so I wanted to see what the critics were saying, and it's not very good. Like it started a couple weeks ago when they had early reviews, and it was
even the first 5 episodes. Yeah. We're not even going to get into the whitewashing stuff like that because that's something that we really are really good people to talk about that. But it's not good. And like they just recently released that the guy that was the drunken master in this movie or in the show, which is honestly the best fight in the whole show, could have been Iron Fist, and he's actually amazing at martial arts. That'd been pretty cool. Point is that he's a half Asian, half American actor, which is I think perfect for that role anyway. Yeah. Anyway, the point is it would have been a different show, and I think they would have had to write it better. So it actually they would have had to write it differently to portray that kind of character.
Yeah.
And it might
like that kind of culture.
Well, like the idea of that would have been. He is an American, right? But it's not like he knows anything about his heritage in any kind of Asian capacity. And so he would still be a fish out of water both places. He'd be half American, half English, or he'd be like, I don't know anything about Asian culture. So him coming back to America would be kind of like the same. It would be the same idea, but with a different twist on it that would have been more interesting from a story standpoint. Okay, that's not the point.
Let's kind of establish it this way. What is Iron Fist? Who is it? I don't know anything about
So I just recently also read a bunch of comic books, so I have I wanted to have a complete idea of this character. However, I just want to point out that I didn't read these comics until the show was almost over. Ooh. And so that's was clouding my judgment. It's not like my beef with The Dark Knight Rises where I'm like, Robin's his name and I'm mad about things. Because I don't like that movie, but it's from a different angle. This is like generally it was boring. Yeah. So Danny Rand is a rich kid who him and his family, according to this TV show, we'll go with TV show wise, him and his family crash in the Himalayas, like a weird, like they're in a private jet. Okay. Like they're going to China somewhere, and they crash in the Himalayas. Parents are dead, pilots are dead. He gets like taken in by these monks because he's almost dead, and it's in this place called Kunlun, which is a mystical city that's technically in a parallel dimension that the way to it and our world only open up every 15 years.
Pause. This sounds similar to Doctor Strange in the fact that they're in the mountains.
Yes, it is. They're both the white savior trope. However, this is an alternate dimension because to become the Iron Fist, and they have like one every generation or whatever.
Got it. Once every 15 years.
No, a generation.
No. How long is a generation?
Until you die, Chris. 100 years.
So like Dalai Lama?
Like Dalai Lama.
Okay, got it.
Like a generation of a character. And maybe not even that often, but according to the comic books, the last one was 1933. So, like, he was like, he became the Iron Fist. He was like, he was in his prime in 1933. And then he's technically in the comics still alive, but I don't want to talk about that. But the point is that they have a bunch of them, right? They're like, and the way you become the Iron Fist is you become the best fighter in Kunlun, which they teach you martial arts every day and stuff. Okay. And you beat everyone, you never lose, and then you have to defeat a dragon in a cave and plunge your fists into its heart, which is its chi. You're not killing the dragon. First I thought he was like punching the dragon to death, but you're plunging your fists into the dragon's heart to gain its chi and give you iron fists.
Pause. How did the dragon look?
They didn't show it, only its eyes did they show in the Netflix show. Jesus, okay. Disappointment. Yeah. I was like, if they actually show him punch a dragon...
They didn't have the budget
10
for that,
out of 10.
maybe? I don't know.
10 out of 10.
10.
Punching dragons.
So he's now punched a dragon. He's got
but
a bunch of
they kind of
powers.
explain this as the show goes on. It's not like they show all of this.
Oh,
they don't
so
even
they do
show
flashbacks during the show?
Yeah, and they don't even ever really show him doing a cool bunch of stuff in Kunlun. They show...
How long was he there for?
15 years.
He was there
because he happened to crash when the way opened.
How old was he?
He was like 10 to 13.
Okay.
And then he shows back up 15 years later, like, why haven't you shown up since then? We thought you were dead. He's like, well, the way... It's kind of... I enjoyed the way the character was portrayed at the beginning, because he's very... Still a 10-year-old in today's world, right. As far as, like, he just didn't really understand, and also, everything he knows is true. So people are like, where were you? He's like, well, I was in Kunlun. It's kind of another dimension, but, I fought my way to the best, and now I'm the Iron Fist. And they're like, well, why haven't you been here? And he's like...
so he didn't even bother hiding his identity. He was because he thinks everyone just speaks that honestly.
Kind of, yeah. He's kind of like, I know it's weird, but he's like, but that's really what happened to me, so I don't understand why everyone thinks I'm a crazy person. I have these powers. I'm the Iron Fist, obviously. And I'm here. And you can't... It's every 15 years. What do you expect from me?
Is the Iron Fist a culturally accepted figure? Or
no one's ever heard of him.
Okay.
Except for... And he's the sworn enemy of the Hand. So the Hand is the evil ninjas... No, yes. The evil ninjas from Daredevil and Madame Gao.
Oh.
Remember Madame Gao?
Yeah.
She's the head of the Hand.
That was a great couple episodes in the Pit, season 2 of Daredevil. Mm-hmm. Oh,
so the Hand, he's a sworn enemy of the Hand, and the whole idea of the Iron Fist in the show is that he's supposed to guard the way when it opens every 15 years from the Hand attacking Kunlun. Right?
Because the Hand is in an alternate dimension?
Because the Hand knows.
Is in the regular dimension.
And they know.
Go back to Kunlun,
right, but he never saw them for real, and so when he gets to back to Rand Enterprises, because he's a rich kid and he has he finds out that the Hand has infiltrated his dad's company, which is his company, and so he's like, oh my gosh, this is literally what I'm here for. I'm here to defeat the Hand. The Hand are taking over New York.
In a business sense?
I did it. Like, they have the whole floor. Madame Gao made deals,
Cool.
Classic Gao. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, the show, he's a whiny baby boy all the time, and you're like,
10.
maybe he's 28.
Yeah, but he's 10 internally. Like,
you would think, though, if you were trained by monks for 15 years, you'd learn to channel that crap.
Also think you wouldn't talk that much if you're trained by monks, you know what I'm saying?
Well, what's fun about Danny Rand, for the most part in the comic books, is he's kind of a smartass, which I enjoyed, but that was nowhere to be found.
You know what this is sounding a lot like? Arrow.
That's what they did. Okay, so I wish you had saw my Facebook post. I basically made my name is Danny Rand. For 15 years, I was hidden on Kunlun, a place, He's like, but to get my company back and to find out what happened to my parents, I must leave my post. I must become. And he almost only uses the Iron Fist to punch through doors. Like, I would say he used the Iron Fist like 15 times in that show, maybe. And either it was like, oh, the guy's swinging a sword at me, breaks on the sword, or he's like, I can't get through this metal door, guess I'll punch it. I was talking to Andrew.
But he won't actually punch regular people?
I've never seen... He never punched a person through their heart or anything cool.
Should he have done that?
Well, I mean, I guess he doesn't want to kill...
Was he trained to kill? Yeah, because
he's
he didn't kill the dragon,
that's the thing, too. So... He's trained to kill the Hand. But he's like, oh, social norms of America, I shouldn't kill people.
Well, yeah. You can only kill... Wait, is the Hand the group of people or the Hand the person?
The group of people.
Oh,
all those ninjas.
He should definitely kill them.
But he won't. He refuses to do it the whole time.
That's weird.
Then there's this creepy cult leader guy that was pretty cool. They have Davos in there who ends up becoming a bad guy in the comic book, so it's kind of cool they set him up.
Davos Sweeney?
No.
Oh.
So, I don't know. The point is, it was fine. The show was fine. I would have given it a solid 6 or 7 out of 10 until that last episode. And that last episode drove this show like a plane in the Himalayas right into a mountain, Chris.
So let's do this. Leave a comment below if you like the show. Let us know. Make sure you let us know if you liked it, why you liked it. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the last episode right now. And it's going to be, obviously, a spoiler of the entirety of the season because we're going to talk about the last episode and why it was so terrible. So, if you have not finished the show, if you haven't started the show, subscribe, come to us again, watch this after you're over, bookmark us, you can see it, share it with your friends. We are Comics Chat with Gat, and goodbye. I'm going to give you, everyone who's still watching or who doesn't care enough to watch the show, here's a spoiler for the last episode, why was it so terrible.
Okay, so... he kind of gets worse as far as his like weird whiny babiness. Like it was kind of okay for a while, and in between episodes like 9 to 12, I felt like it was working out. Like he lost his Iron Fist powers because that's what they do in every.
How did he lose him?
Because his chi was fucked because he wanted to kill or didn't kill or something, and he wouldn't fulfill his destiny being the Iron Fist. Anyway, so he couldn't do his Iron Fist powers. The bad guy, foil bad guy that became the real bad guy that wasn't the bad guy that became the bad guy again because it was all sorts of messed up.
Who was the bad guy? Was he the leader of the hand? Or
no,
was he
not
a
even.
general,
So it was the business partner of his dad who ended up setting up the plane to crash, had made deals with the hand.
Ooh.
However, the guy made a deal with the hand so that when he was dying of cancer, like they do a special ritual on him and he comes back to life after he dies. Yeah. And I guess the old ancient like story about this weird technique is every time you come back to life you become worse and worse, and like the guy in the ancient village ended up roasting his children on a thing because he kept coming crazier and crazier and hurting the people around him.
So the businessman who came back to life, does he know kung fu?
He learns smart sword, and he's not like he never fights Danny Rand directly with martial arts. He's like more of like a kingpin kind of bad guy that has henchmen. And then is against the hand because the hand was threatening his children, which Danny Rand grew up with, like brothers and sisters, because of business partners. They were running the company when he got there. He wanted them to be safe, and so the hand said, if you ever come back, like if you show yourself outside, even though we did this thing for you, we'll kill them. And he's afraid of that. So when Danny shows up, he's like, guess what? I'm the Iron Fist. I defeat the hand. He's like, great, Danny. Let's team up. And I was like, this seems wonderful. Like you get this businessman behind the Rand Enterprises team with Danny Rand, and everything seems cool. Then the son who had dealt with like mental and physical abuse from the dad, who's the only one that knew he was still alive because he was helping him run the business in the back end. The daughter didn't know. She was kept like pure, kind of. He just gets tired of his shit and just murders the fucker guy. Just like murks him, right? And you think that's done, and you're like, is it? And that was like halfway through the season. Of course, he comes back to life, but now he's worse.
Yeah.
So he becomes like this crazy person, and then you realize that he's actually the bad guy the whole time, and he wanted Danny Rand to die in the plane crash so he could take over the company.
Which makes sense.
You're like,
classic
classic bad guy.
With the business.
So that whole thing's going on, but when he finds out that it's him, he like, Danny Rand has these like, I think he's just the actor maybe, it might be, but he's just like, I'm so mad, I can't. And like everyone's like, dude, fucking chill out. Yeah. Like,
is this all episode 13 right now?
Most
when he finds this out? Or?
He finds it out like end of episode 12. Like Madame Gao's like, yo dog, here's the deal. No, it was I think all episode 13.
Okay.
He goes back to Madame Gao and she's like, look, I've never lied to you. I know I'm like bad guy, classic. But for real, like this is the problem, and it's fucking this guy. And he's like, oh no, but he's like my other dad. He's my uncle. And he's just like a whiny baby man. Like, oh my gosh. And then like he finally goes there, and then like he gets out of it, and he finally can use the Iron Fist again. And does one time he does the coolest Iron Fist thing is in the last episode. Like he does this like ground pound thing, like ripples. He does this really cool ripple in the business thing, and then he fights him on the roof.
They used all their budget for that instead of the dragon.
Yeah, I guess this one ripple effect in slow mo, and then like that song when it looked like a
what are you gonna tie this into?
Doesn't matter. What's that song that the doesn't matter.
Eye of the Tiger?
No, I was when everything's paused and it's like a mannequin challenge. It looked like a mannequin challenge of ripples and stuff. Anyway, so it was a mannequin challenge, and then he gets to the roof and he fights him, and of course like he can't. He's like, no, I can't kill you, and then he's like, I'm the Iron Fist. You're like, I guess. And then of course the son shows up, who became a good guy once he realized his dad was super bad, and like was like, well, Benny my enemy, right, Danny? And he's like, I guess. Shoots him off the roof, but they said the only way to kill him is to chop his head off, so I was like, I don't know why we didn't chop his head off. Anyway, the last part, he's like, I gotta go back to Kunlun because I apparently don't know shit. So far doesn't
sound that terrible.
Yeah, but the way he's such a whiny baby boy, it's just so bad. Like, you don't understand if you're not watching it. Like, I'm explaining it being off. Like, I'm really good at making things sound good, right? And it sounds good, but it's not good.
I can just hear the thumbs downs coming in right now.
Yeah, exactly. Bring him in because it's bad. It's a bad TV show that and then what makes it worse, he goes, I gotta go back to Kunlun because whatever, I gotta train again. He brings the girl that's with him that's part of the Daughters of the Dragon, that's been the girl with the sweet samurai sword. She was a hand member. That was a whole other weird subplot. His girlfriend was like, oh, but I'm the hand. Like, after he tells her, like, he's like, you never told me you were the hand. She's like, I couldn't. You literally came. It was kind of like if someone was like, I kill Nazis. And you're like, cool, I don't know anything about Nazis, but you're a Nazi? Because you like the guy, and you're like, oh, but our Nazis are the good Nazis. Like, that was her argument the whole time. She's like, oh, but I'm part of the good hand. He's like, there is no good hand.
The left hand.
Right. Not the right hand. So, well, they would be the right hand.
Not the wrong hand?
Yeah. So she finally finds out that she's the hand, and then he's like, you wanted me, baby boy. And then and then finally he forgives her, whatever, because she realizes that they're bad, and she's like, you're right, they're all bad, but I've been trained and
Does she leave the hand?
Yeah.
Okay.
She leaves
the hand. So
the hand's the feeds.
Did it end with he went back to Kunlun?
So he go back to Kunlun. He's like, you come with me. You'll train with me. It'll be cool. The way's still open. They get there. There's blood all over the place at the way. And he's like, oh, I was supposed to be here to save people, and I wasn't. And then Kunlun's gone. He's like, it's just fucking gone. And then that's how they leave the end of the thing. And I was like, oh.
That sounds kind of cool.
No, it's dumb.
That sounds kind of.
It's not cool. You haven't watched? Did you waste 13 hours on it?
No.
You just heard me for 5 minutes talk about cool parts.
All right. Now, whoever's still watching, what did you think at the end? Did you think it was not great? Did you like it? Let us know in the comments below. And again, I have not seen it. I'll probably give it an episode or two to check it out. I've got some friends that are non-comic book fans who are kind of enjoying it.
They haven't got the 13th episode yet.
I guess they haven't. But other than that, again, we've been Comics Chat with Gat. We are a weekly show, channel, everything devoted to comic books and popular culture. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, share it with your friends, and we hope to hear what you guys have to say about this. It seems like a polarizing show. This does set up the Defenders. Sorta. In the sense that the next show will be the Defenders.
Davos is with the daughter when she finds out that her dad was alive and everyone was lying to her, and she's now a bad guy, I guess, because her and Davos are conspiring to kill Danny Rand.
Perfect. So we'll see how Danny Rand's character is handled in the Defenders. We'll see if he's actually downplayed. If the crowd reaction is that they don't like this character, we'll see how much of a emphasis he gets in the show.
I was talking to our friend Andrew, and he was saying, basically, since he only punches doors, they're going to be they're all going to be doing their cool things, and they're going to be like, crap, we can't go through this door. Danny is going to be like, Iron Fist.
Got it. Well, everyone, hope you enjoyed. Let us know if you did, or if you didn't. I am Chris Cadley. That is Taylor Catcher. Bye.